So once again, a very good afternoon, or good morning rather. Good morning to members of the public and members of the media, and of course, welcome to the press conference in the morning of the 11th of December 2025 by the Joint Press Center on Thailand-Cambodia border situation. And of course, I've just mentioned earlier on the principles of our operations, in particular the military operations on this occasion. We base our principle on legitimacy, the humanitarian principle, as well as transparency in our conduct of operations, to a certain extent that we are limited to some of the classified information that we may not be able to disclose. But in any case, we try to be as transparent as possible. And the reason for the establishment of this press center is to be able to relay and convey the message of one voice, one message to the members of the audience and members of the press, so that they have a clear understanding of the ongoing situation that we are faced with at the moment. And last but by no means the least, on our principles that we uphold is to boost the morale of both the soldiers operating in the front line rather, as well as the soldiers operating in the rear areas. Now, concerning the situation that has taken place in the recent day, I've just reported to members of the media and members of the public that the operations are still ongoing across the border from, of course, Ubon Ratchathani down to Trat provinces, and the battlefields, or the conflicts rather, have been ongoing until today. And I'd like to say that up to date there have been some casualties among the military officers. Three further officers have been killed in action, and more than 120 personnel have been injured. In total, to date, 9 military personnel have been killed and more than 120 personnel have been injured. In terms of the operations of the Royal Thai Navy, who have the responsibility of the areas in Chanthaburi and Trat provinces, the Trat operations, which is the focus of the operations of today, has been conducted quite diligently and effectively by the Royal Thai Navy, and at the moment the operations is still ongoing. In terms of the roles and responsibility of the Royal Thai Air Force, the Royal Thai Air Force continues to be supportive and to provide support effort to the operations on the ground by the troops of the Royal Thai Army and the Royal Thai Navy. Now, I mentioned also ขอสไลด์ศูนย์พักพิงด้วยนะครับ The latest figures of the affected people, the innocent civilians affected by this conflict, we have seen the latest numbers of people having to be evacuated as 199,618 people across the borders, across the provinces. And to date, the government has provided or has prepared 849 shelter centers to accommodate all the affected victims. And in terms of the casualties among the civilians, to date, 3 civilians have been killed. The affected hospitals, 19 hospitals has been affected. And of course, the local hospitals, also 180 have been affected. So these are the latest figures that we have as of the afternoon on the 10th of December. สไลด์ต่อไปครับ ในเรื่องของ and of course the latest situation is that we have declared curfew in the area or in the vicinity of the 1st Army area by the Burapha Task Force. The reason for the curfew is, of course, to protect the safety of the general public and, of course, to prevent any possibility of sabotage that could take place during the curfew time. So that's the reason why the Burapha Task Force has announced the curfew effective since yesterday between 1900 hours to 0500 hours in the morning. ขอสไลด์ของกระทรวงการต่างประเทศนะครับ In terms of the dissemination of truths to the global community at large, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has sent letters of protest to inform the UN Secretary General as well as the UN Security Council of the violations conducted by the Cambodian armed forces, and of course the reason for the combat operations that the Thai armed forces has to conduct. So these letters can actually be found on the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We try to be as transparent as possible, and you can actually check on the letters and the details of the contents in the letters. In terms of the สไลด์การอพยพนะครับ Okay. In terms of the evacuations, should there be any evacuation of Thai citizens overseas, also the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has prepared plans in case of the need to evacuate Thai citizens from Cambodia. So we advise all Thai citizens who have the residence in Cambodia to contact the embassy in the area and in Phnom Penh, as well as, of course, other official organizations in the area for your registration of your presence in case there's the need to evacuate. And for those who actually have planned to travel to Cambodia, we have issued the travel advisory for you to try to avoid traveling to Cambodia at this time. Okay.